Hi guys. Okay, we're going to make up something today. We're going to make unnatural cordage. And what is unnatural cordage? Garbage. Things you just find laying around, like soda bottles. They're everywhere. You find them on the side of the road. They're every place. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make something up right quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I got this stick I've just cut, so I got a flush end. I've got a nice secure place here I can anchor it. I want it to stick out this way about, I need to move the camera over this way a little better. Maybe you can see better like that. Yeah, I want it sticking out about 2 inches, something like that right here, and I want to secure it solidly to here and solidly to there. And for that I'm going to use a pair of bushcraft zip ties. Right quick, just unhook, pull. Now pass them over a couple times, just like that. Run back through to make the loop. Pass the end through. Pull it down snug. Get it to about the position that I want. And then I want to saw this around until I get a good solid anchor, just like that. Now I'll take my other one and put on the other end, and that will anchor it same way. So I've got a workbench. Take it and go around twice, go through the loop, pull the loop up tight, and then just saw it around until it is fully anchored. That makes a good solid anchor point. Now get my loop out of the way. Now I'm going to take my Swiss Army knife. I'm going to pull out my saw blade, and I'm going to put a notch, say right there. Just want a good notch. Now I'm going to go back to the main blade. I'm going to put the tip of that main blade in there, give it a little bump, and there it's anchored. Now let me adjust the camera and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, now that we've got our workstation set up, I'm going to take my bottle and I'm going to cut it off. Now I could cut off and run an entire, but this one's got a curve to it, and I'm just going to do it up here at the end. All I'm going to do is just find a nice straight piece, take a good sharp knife, and I'm going to slice it all the way around, trying to keep it kind of straight as I go. Now when I get to the end, right here, just like that, see, I'm going to slice me a thin little piece. Comes out about, well, I'd say about ½ inch, something like that. Be careful cutting toward yourself. In fact, it'd be smart to use the scissors, wouldn't it? Because I got a good Swiss Army knife, and this is my Field Master, by the way. Go down to them scissors and start going. Now, cut a strip about like that long. Something to grab a hold of. Okay, now let's go back to our little workstation. Okay, you notice I've anchored this stable. I got my notch in it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my knife blade and I'm going to put it in there with the sharp edge going that way, give just a little bump to make that tip bite in. And then I'm going to take my tab that I've run, I'm going to put it over like that. Okay, now I'm going to hold the blade, I'm going to grab that tip and I'm going to pull it just like this. Alright, get it where I want to start. And now I can carefully pull and slice this as thick as I want. Just like this. If I want thicker, I pull it to go deep like that. If I want shallow, I can just steer the blade a little bit. But with it, I can very carefully work this around just like this. And what I'm doing is creating cordage, because soda pop bottles and things, this plastic is a thermoplastic. And what it means in English is that plastic shrinks up when you heat it. See, I'm rolling my hand. I can pull it, or I can very carefully just do like this, and I can watch it and guide it the whole time to create my cordage. I'm going to cut it off, and that's produced a ring of cordage. Now what this produces is a thermal cordage. Okay, I can sit there and carefully run all the way around this and make 1/2 inch wide, 1/8 inch wide, whatever I need, just by rolling it and guiding it onto that blade. When I get done, I'm going to have cordage that I can wrap around something, tie it off, and then hold it over heat like a campfire. It will shrink up blood tight. Now, a couple of years ago, I made up a tripod this way that I was going to leave at a permanent campsite. And I took a soda bottle I found in the dirt road on the way into the place and did what you just saw. And I created strips of cordage. Now, whenever I got there and I got my thing set up, what I did was I pulled it off and I rolled it off. Now I took my 3 poles that I was going to utilize for my tripod, I wrapped it around several good times, and then I wrapped it this way so that my running end was lacing underneath the whole roll. Okay, that way when it constricts, it's tight. Then I had a fire. I held it over the fire and I slowly turned it. Gave it a minute or two and I opened it up. Nope, still too loose. Closed it back, put it over the heat, and it would shrink up, getting tighter and tighter, until when I pulled the legs out, they were stiff but not too hard, and I sat it up, and that was my tripod, and it stayed there for 4 years until the wood legs finally rotted off. This don't rot, and so it's a cordage that don't go away, and it's a resource that you can pick up on the side of the road. It's garbage, so it's an unnatural cordage. But what else could I use this for? Well, if I wrapped around something, I wanted to secure 2 pieces of gear together, and they were not heat sensitive, so I could like take 2 pieces of metal, 2 tubes or something, put them together and have them draw up tight. I could put bands of this around it and draw it up. If I was at home, I can take a heat gun and heat it up, and it'll just pull up tight and make a nice tight plastic band. That's the idea. So for today's Down and Dirty Woodscraft, how about unnatural cordage? Something you just pick up on the ground and turn it into a useful resource, because garbage is everywhere, guys. It's something we can pick up anywhere, and with just a little bit of work. I took a stick, I cut it off so it was square, and I put it out as a spacer. I built me up a workstation, I cut a notch in it, and I put my Swiss Army knife into it for blade. I could have used any edge, but Swiss Army knife was real handy for that. Tapped it in, that way when I hold pressure on it, it don't want to fold. Any type of slip joint knife, now let's talk about that for one split second. Since there's nothing here keeping that from closing but friction, I want to stab it in. I want that tip secured in that notch, so it don't want to do this. See? So when I'm holding that knife, I'm kind of lifting up. So as I'm pulling the material or holding it this way and rotating the material and cutting it and guiding it, I can see it and cut how big a strip I want. Very easy, very handy. Now I reclaim my two bushcraft zip ties, go back into my haversack, and I'm right back on the trail with the extra cordage. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below, and hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you go too, if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.